Peace, peace. This is Anpu with another video on astral travel. The last video I did, I haven't astral traveled in a long time. Check my last video. I haven't astral traveled in a very long time. And just to sum up with that last video, I saw extraterrestrials. And in that realm, I was also, I saw a baby, and I have a history when astral traveling. I have a history of seeing this baby, and it pointed to spacecrafts that was in the sky at that time, and they said that I asked who were they, and the baby spoke to me and said those are my brothers. Yeah, that was the last video I did, and like I said, I have an astral. That time I have an astral travel in a very long time, and it happened again. I'm making this video a little late because I've been very busy, man. Just been very busy. I mean, I had the experience and I wrote down the experience just to make sure I document this. I mean, this is what I've been doing. If you're just now tuning in, I've been going off my journal, my personal journal, where I keep, you know, all my actual traveling experiences, the dates, the time, and what happened, and just still, trying to figure this out. But it just gets iller and iller every time. You know, it's always an amazing experience. There's a lot of people out there that want have questions and wondering if you know why we can't just go there and just stay there. And I just truly believe that we in this realm to learn. I stated this in the last videos that we here to learn. Life is just it's just school, man. It's just another to move up in the realms, pretty much. If you think about it, it's like birth. We come from our essence is basically from the astral realm. You know, we kind of come into these physical bodies to gain this experience, and I believe that we kind of like forget who we are. We forget our abilities. We forget the things that we can do. And, you know, this is why, this is what I believe. This is what I know. I mean, these are things that I experience from time to time. And I just, this video is just for those individuals that want to know or hear, other people's experiences on this astral realm, on the astral traveling, astral projecting, whatever you want to call it, man. Just leaving your physical body, your consciousness leaving your physical body. And it's real. It's very real. There's plenty of people out there that can do it, and there's plenty of people that do it and just don't remember. That's why I feel like, we, we in this third dimension having this experience in this third dimensional world. We just don't remember. It's just the same as you go to sleep at night and have this magnificent dream, and you wake up the next day and you don't remember. You just don't remember. What causes that? I don't know. What's blocking that? I don't know. I really don't know. I can't call it. But this is why I'm, making these videos and documenting my experiences and Pooh's experiences. I'm not, speaking on other people's experience. I might relate some similarities and all that, but I'm speaking from my point of view. And, I know there's people out there, that are very conscious, and that's cool. They make their videos, they do they things their way. I do things my way. You might have, you might not be on my level. You might not be at the level where I'm at spiritually, to be able to tap into these things. And there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe you're just not ready for it yet, or maybe you're just not tuning in hard enough. Maybe something is missing. Maybe you gotta, you know, take a step back and look deep within yourself and figure it out, But then there's people that have these experiences that are more experienced than me. I'm not going to sit here and come on this internet and be like, yo, you need to be doing this. You need to be on this level. What's wrong with you? Like, why are you speaking about these things? You should be at this level. But my thing is, listen, you do what you do, I do what I do. This is what I'm experiencing. And everybody is on a different path. Everybody is going a separate ways, as far as spirituality goes. Everybody has different beliefs. And there's a lot of people that have the same similar stories. And this is why I'm documenting this. And if you're watching this video, you probably on that same path. You probably had an experience before. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting here saying that I'm stronger and more conscious than you, or even less conscious than you, because you had a more vivid experience and you've done more things and you created universes and you at that level. That's cool. You know, I hope to get to that level, but right now I'm just documenting what I'm experiencing. Pretty sure there's people out there that could just make things up and say, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm teleporting, I'm creating universes. I created my own, you know, solar system. And that's cool. I could sit there and lie to the people, but I'm Anpu, man. Anpu Ra. Like my master teacher told me, you know, he called me the Anpu Ra, the opener of the way. This is my way. This is my path. And this is what I'm speaking from my experience. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to the people on information. I'm just not. I'm not going to sit here and glorify it and make it seem like I'm doing all these powerful things when I'm not. I'm giving you straight, raw experience. Since day one, like I said before, I decided to put these things onto the internet. I didn't have to, you know, but a good friend of mine, the goddess, she put me on and was like, yo, you need to put that out there, put that information out there, because you can help people that's like you. You can help, you can help these souls that reincarnated into this realm and is having these experiences and they confused. Because I was very confused. And I'm still am. I ain't got this mastered. I ain't no master, no master astral traveler. I can't do this at will. There's people that claim they can do it at will, and that's cool. But Anpu Ra, you know, I'm just like you. For those people out there that are watching, I'm really not that much different. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm more special than you. These are the experience that I experience, and you take from it what you can. And then when say if you wasn't astral traveling and you watching my videos, you might experience the same things that I experience, and maybe you can handle the experience a little better than I handle mine. Mine was just, it was just a rough draft. I had a lot of errors that I made. And there's a lot of things I corrected, and I gained more powerful at this, and it's cool. But let me just get back to business, pretty much. Um, so like I said, the last video I had on astral traveling was definitely in this month of October of 2016, and I had another one. It was October 16th, 2016. So, and if you watch my videos, I rarely have them 2 times a month. It's usually 1 time a month. It's been, before the last video, it's been a whole year, damn near a year, that I had an astral traveling experience. I had one, and now I'm having another one. Well, I had another one, and I'm going to share this with y'all and what I wrote down in my journal. So, in this experience, on October 16th, 2016, I woke up in the middle of the night and got some water, went back to sleep, checked my clock, and it was 3:45. Um, I felt the vibration. I always feel this vibration. It wasn't as intense as as it done before. It happens sometimes. Sometimes I get the vibration and I could just leave my body. Sometimes the vibration is so intense. It feels like you're having a heart attack, like you're just vibrating. And then sometimes the vibration is very low. So in this experience, the vibration was very low. And I pulled for myself, very easy. I was able to pull out my body, but then when I pulled out my body, when I began to walk, I was like in slow motion. It felt like I was like in slow motion. That's how I knew I was astral traveling. Because that's how real it feels. It feels, you know, some people have dreams, like I said before, but it's like if I'm in a waking state, it's so real. And it is real. That's what I'm trying to explain to people. Like these experiences that y'all having, if you have them, they real. And for people that haven't had it and want to have it, it's real, man. It's real. And I'm just living proof of that. And there's many others that are. And I looked at my body and I was able to see my body and my girl's body. And like I said before, it's an amazing feeling when you actually separate and you see your physical body laying there. And it can be scary. And I walked in my living room and I looked around to see if I seen any shadow beings. And I did. And it's funny because I stood around my living room for a while. And like with this experience, I was more just analyzing things. And usually when I get into these when I get into the astral realm, I'm just so quick to just fly. Because like I said before, my other videos, flying is just amazing. Just amazing feeling. But in this experience, I just was just observing. So I stood in the middle of my living room and just looking around and just amazed at how everything is the same. Everything is just the same in this realm. And I'm looking for the shadow beings and stuff like that because I encountered plenty shadow beings, but there was none in sight. I mean, I was very conscious. I guess they ain't want no problems. But yeah, I was just looking around. So like I said before, the feeling was so real, man. Like it's so real. So I wanted to make sure that I was astral traveling. So I said, let me just walk through the door, right? So that's what I did. I walked through the door. Like I know it sounds crazy, but when you do your research on other people's astral traveling videos, or books or articles, you can do these abilities you have in these realms, you know. And I just walked right through the door like a ghost, and that's when I knew that I was in the astral realm. And like I said here, because the rules is just different. And I'm on the third floor of my apartment complex, so I didn't want to go down the steps because I already knew I'm astral traveling, so I could just jump off the rail on the steps. So, I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna break a leg or anything like that. But for me, I've always did things the safe way, just in case that I'm not sleepwalking. Now you have many cases like my girl's cousin has a bad case of sleepwalking. And she's told me stories when he was young. He used to just get up out his sleep, unlock the door, and be outside. Like, they had to like barrack when every time he had to, like, it was so bad that every time he went to sleep, they would have to like put a outside lock on his door so he won't leave, the house. It's very dangerous. It's and sleepwalking is it's a rare condition. It's real, and I'm pretty sure there's people out there that heard people that have conditions of sleepwalking. Like it's like your body, it's like you're asleep, but your body is really acting out the dream. You don't really have full control, and you just you know. Another time, she told me that she heard things in the kitchen. He was sleeping, and he was just in the kitchen, just rattling dishes. And she came in there and was calling his name, and he was just standing there. And one thing she told me, she said, one thing you're not supposed to do is like shake them and wake them up because it can like startle them and I don't know, they could go into shock or something like that. So ever since she told me that and I've been having these experiences, I would do certain things to make sure that I'm not just sleepwalking. Make sure that okay, this is real. I'm in the astral realm. You know, like I said in one of my first videos that the first time I flew, I went to the roof of my building and I was just gonna jump off and start flying, but I was so conscious. I took the steps down to the front of the building and then started to fly from the ground up. And then I knew once you know, it's like no holds bars. It's like you just do anything you want, and it's just an amazing feeling. So once I walked through my front door, I already knew that was my way of telling me, you good. You in the astral realm. Let's get it. Let's go. You know. So I'm on the third floor, and it's like on my steps. It's like one, two, three steps, but it's like a rail. It's a rail right there before going down. And, I just looked down, just climbed up on the rail, and I just jumped down. And when I jumped down, it was like I just floated like in slow motion. It was like if I jumped in a pool of water. You know what I'm saying? That's the best way to describe it. The way how I was coming down, like sinking down into the water. And I came down, landed it on the ground, and I was just like, yeah, like it's a crazy feeling. It's a crazy feeling, man. But so from that point on, uh, I tried to teleport, and I did. And the way I did it, that's one thing. Like the level I'm at now, I'm trying to like master the flying. I'm trying to master teleporting because you can do these things. Like I've done it before, but not knowing how to do it. So this is where I'm at now with it. I'm trying to like figure this out. So what I did to teleport, because there's plenty of times that I've been in the astral realm and I walk through a door and I'm in a totally different place. Or I went through a window and I'm just in a totally different place. And beautiful places, like beautiful landscapes and stuff like that. So that's what I did. I closed my eyes. And the same thing when I went through the door. Like when I went through the door, I closed my eyes and just went through. If I was sleepwalking or in a waking state, I would have smacked right into that door. That would have woke me up for real. But I actually went through the door, and then when I teleported, I closed my eyes, and then just imagine that place that I was at before. That was very beautiful. It was very grassy, trees, the water. It was everything was just so beautiful. I imagined myself there, and when I opened my eyes, I was there. Like I was there. So you know, it was I said that the place was very grassy and beautiful with hills, and I saw a woman walk by. And I mentioned this in other past videos too, because usually I don't interact with other beings that I see in the astral realm. Like I've been in the astral realm, and I see, you know, a group of people over here talking. Might see a lady walking by, a guy walking by. At that time, when I first started astral traveling, I didn't really want to interact with them or talk to them or figure anything. I just wanted to fly. To be honest with you, I just wanted to fly and just journey this experience. And I did mention this in the other videos that I said, yo, next time I do this, I want to start like speaking to people. And I have spoken to individuals in that room, like for instance, the baby. My last video, the baby spoke to me. Um, I met this African looking guy before, and I think he was my spiritual guide. I don't know. I think, but I've seen him in more than one occasion. I also spoke to uh the god Ogun. I had an experience that the god Ogun, was holding my best friend's deceased daughter. She was an infant. My friend lost his daughter at an infant stage, and he was actually holding her. I communicated with him, and this is at the time that I knew nothing about Ogun at all. And when I did my research, I realized that he's a god in the Orisha tradition, religion, you want to call it. And so I always said, yo, next time I join these astral realms, I want to speak to people and just interact with, well, not people, man. I can't. It's hard to use terms, but just I gotta use these terms just to explain this in the best ability that I can. But because we're not technically people, it's a title, names, but I don't want to really get into all that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So, well, those that are conscious know what I'm talking about. Anyways, I always said I want to speak to individuals, speak to other souls or entities, and just interact with them. So in this experience, a woman walked by. I try to communicate with her, like, "Hey, how you doing?" Like, just regular. She just kept walking. She was looking at me and just kept walking. And then I saw a man. I tried to communicate with him. And I remind you, it was just in this big grassy hill. Something like this, what my screen is showing right now. Something like that. Like this big grassy hills and trees, and it's like a river. Beautiful place, man. Like I said before, it's like nature in HD, man. Everything is glowing so vibrant. The vibration is beautiful. The energy is beautiful. And this guy walks by. I try to communicate with him too. And he just kept walking by. And I was just like, okay. So at that point, I just like, you know what, let me just explore, this realm, this realm that I just teleported to. I mean, I don't know. I probably created that realm for I know. I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe, you know, maybe the creator created it. I don't know. But it was there. I was there, and I was just an observer. And I definitely want to say that because I'm trying to like relate these realms to the realm that we, see on daily basis that are we conscious in. It's pretty much the same, man. It's the same, but you have a different feeling in your heart because when you astral travel, you're in a different realm, and it's just an overwhelming feeling that comes over you, and it's just a special thing that you really can't explain. But then I'm observing the grass because I'm like barefooted, and I'm like, moving my toes in the grass, and it just feels like grass. Breathing, the air is cool. I started touching the rocks. I was just observing. That's what I was doing in this experience. Just amazed. I'm touching things. I went to the river. There's like this nice stream, a little small river, and I was touching the water, and I'm like letting the water drip from my hand. And I'm just looking at it. I'm just looking around, and there was nobody around. And it was kind of weird that one lady just came out of nowhere. I don't know where she came from. It's like this big fields of grass, and this lady just comes out of nowhere. And when I turned to look, she walked by. I turned again. I seen a guy. He walked by and just kept walking. I tried to communicate with him, but I was just observing, just looking around, looking at the sky, looking at the grass, the trees, and everything just feels real. And I'm so conscious, like I know what's going on. I know where I'm at. Well, not technically know where I'm at, but I know I'm in the astral realm. And that's what I was doing that whole time. And I was there for a long time. I was there for a long time, just hanging out in nature in the astral realm. You know, they say that you have matter, which is physical things, and then you have the opposite, which is antimatter. So our physical bodies will be considered matter, but then the real true us will be the antimatter, the spirit, right? So basically, if all these trees and grass and water has matter, then it also has an antimatter that exists on another realm. That's how I see it. And it just feels real. It just feels real. And it was just a beautiful place, like heaven, man. It was just a beautiful place. It was a beautiful experience. Um, so then I saw a lion. Once again, like I said before, I experienced a lot with baby, and I experienced the cats. Here comes I experienced these tigers, these colorful tigers in one of my other experiences. I experienced cat-like beings in my other experiences, and I had a lucid dream one time with a lion, and here we go again was a lion, and it was a big lion, man. I mean, he was huge, and it was just coming towards me, and I had no fear. I had no fear because I was in the astral realm, and I knew I was in the astral realm. And the lion came up to me, and I started petting the lion like if it was mine, like if it was my pet. Like if you had like same way you pet your pet pit bull, your dog or cat or something like that. Same way I was doing to that lion. I was just petting it and observing the feeling. I'm touching the fur, and it just feels like a lion. Not that I say that I petted a lion before, but the fur, it felt like fur, and what a lion would feel like. And it was just amazing, like to have that experience. Like, wow, this is what it would feel like if I was in a third dimension petting a lion. Like if I was a zookeeper, or if I was one of these billionaires that be having these exotic pets. Like I gained that experience. Like, oh, so this is what it feels like to be this close to a lion or to pet a lion, because it just felt so real, and the lion was just it was just chilling. It laid on his back. It laid on his back, and I was rubbing his stomach, and it was like amazing. I was just looking like, this is so crazy. Like, this is cool. At the same time, like, but it's hard to be like, man, you tell people these things, and they just don't get it. They just don't get it. And then I just, at that point, I just went back to my body. I stood up from the line, and I just, boom, went back to my body. And, and every time I get in my body, it's like, boom, I open my eyes like real quick because it's like a shock. It's like if I actually like teleported back to my body, my physical body. And it's always that feeling. And I always, I sit up after the experience, and I just think about it. I think about what just happened. And this is what helps me um, to remember these experiences. Even with the dreams, like I said before, I dream day, every day. I think if I was to sit there and write a dream journal, I said I was going to write one. I haven't. I'm not going to lie. I think I'll have like a damn dictionary book, like, because I can remember every dream. But what I do is after astral travel, and it's always in the middle of the night, I sit up and it's like I rewind the tape. It's like a movie. You know what I'm saying? I start from the beginning. Okay, what just happened? All right, I felt the vibration. I remember looking at the time. I remember going to get some water, and I start going through it step by step, and I'll do that at least 3 times, because usually when I come out of astral travel, like sometimes it will start like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I'll have like an experience. I think about it. I'll go back to sleep, and then end up in a dream. Get up, in the morning, probably like 2, 3 hours later, I could remember the dream I had, and then I remember the actual traveling experience I had. And I think that's what I did. I like trained my mind and my consciousness to do that. And I could sit here and be like, okay, I was having an actual traveling experience at this time, and then go back to sleep, and then wake up, and then be like, okay, and I also had a dream, and this happened in the dream. But like I said before, you can't really control your dreams, but you can once you become lucid. And that's the beautiful thing when you become lucid in a dream. And the last time I had a lucid, the time I had a lucid dream with a lion, I was just dreaming, and a lion. I was in my old neighborhood, and a lion came out of nowhere and was chasing me, and I was jumping on top of cars. And when I was jumping from car to car, I realized I was floating, and that's what made me conscious and question it, and then say, "Damn, what is a lion doing in the hood?" And turned around, the lion was gone. The fear was gone. and then I became lucid. But in this experience of October 16, 2016, I was already conscious already. I was already conscious. Maybe this was a test to to test my fear, to test, to see if I was still with it. And it's like sometimes, you get kind of bumped out the actual traveling experience into looped into a dream. That's happened to me plenty times too. But, I was conscious and the lion came. I was just like, what's up? Petting it like a pet. It was just a beautiful thing. It's something like, you ever see those Christian doctrines or pamphlets that like Christians give you in the street, or like a Jehovah Witness might come to your house and it might have a title, you know, God is with you. And when you look at the picture on the pamphlet, you see like a man and a woman and then a child, and it's like grass and trees and nature, and there's a lion there, and there's a cow there, and there's a sheep there. There's like all these animals around, and everybody's just living in peace. That's that's how it was. That's exactly how it was, and I think that's how it is actually. Well, I know that's what it is on that realm. I mean, it wasn't like many animals around. It was just that one lion. It was that one lady that walked by, one guy that walked by, and then the lion just came out of nowhere when I was just looking at nature. So, I mean, just trying to still connect the dots. I mean, I was in this astral realm. Maybe the lady that walked by was dreaming. Maybe she's you know, maybe she's not something that I made up in my mind, and maybe she's dreaming and she's in the astral realm with me, or that guy's in the astral realm, and he just, journeying through the realms, and he probably don't remember when he woke up, or she, and animals dream too. Maybe that lion was in Africa sleeping, and somehow ended up in the same realm that I was in, and was just journeying. Maybe he's more maybe that lion is more conscious than me because it didn't try to attack me. You know, maybe the lion is more in tune with nature. So these are things, and I got to question. These are things that I analyze. These are things that I question myself after having these experiences. It's like, why am I having these experiences? Why? What's the purpose? But it's a beautiful thing, man. It's amazing. But yeah, I'm gonna leave right there. I'm gonna leave on that note. So till we meet again, what can I say? This is Anpu Ra with another video on astral travel. Peace.